This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. Between two-factor authentication, strong passwords, and a VPN, you try to be in control of how your info is protected. But many other places also have it, and they might not be as careful. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats. If your identity is stolen, they'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit lifelock.com/podcast for 40% off. Terms apply.
This episode is brought to you by JCPenney. Yes, JCPenney. And if you've been there recently, you know it's the place to go for jaw-dropping looks at brag-worthy prices. They've got something special for every style and budget, not to mention rewards and deals that make finding those hidden gems even sweeter. If you already shop JCPenney, you're already in on the secret. But if not, it's time to ask. Wait, am I sleeping on JCPenney? Shop JCPenney.com. Yes, JCPenney.
This is Optimal Living Daily, How to Forgive Yourself, 5 Ways to Try, by Dr. Margaret Rutherford of drmargaretrutherford.com. And I'm Justin Malik, your host and narrator. Now let's get right to it as we optimize your life. How to Forgive Yourself, 5 Ways to Try, by Dr. Margaret Rutherford of drmargaretrutherford.com. Do you know how to forgive yourself? Feelings of self-doubt can complicate self-forgiveness. How do you know if you're letting yourself off the hook, or if you're not taking responsibility for your actions? Is there a statute of limitations on guilt? If you forgive yourself, does that mean you have no more remorse? Maybe there are things that you did, excuses you made. Maybe you weren't a great brother or sister. Maybe you created your own kind of chaos and hurt other people. And now you shudder. How could I have done that? Why did I make such horrible decisions? The voice of narcissism versus the voice of obsession. There are many people in the world who never take responsibility for their actions. They struggle with narcissism, meaning they're highly self-absorbed and can be extremely manipulative. They not only let themselves off the hook far too easily, they may blame anyone around them for feeling hurt. The following words, referred to as the narcissist's prayer, is funny, unless, of course, you're the one who's meant to take it personally. That didn't happen. And if it did, it wasn't that bad. If it was, that's not a big deal. If it is, that's not my fault. And if it was, I didn't mean it. And if I did, you deserved it. That's narcissism, all right. There's tremendous insecurity underneath that relentless barrage of blame, but that doesn't change the damage done. Some fortunate individuals have a clear understanding of innate human fallibility, which allows them to learn from their mistakes and move on. Others have faith that guides them to forgiveness, both for others and for themselves. But what if you wake up in the middle of the night and obsess about the smallest of things, everything from what you said at a party to who you slept with in high school to the catty thing you said about a friend 5 years ago? What if there are more serious things that you now realize were horrible mistakes? Especially if you suffer with anxiety or depression, or even more specifically, perfectionism, these thoughts can run you ragged, keep you up at night, and stop you from ever having a true sense of self-esteem. You can never, even in your own mind, live down your past. Here are 5 things to try. Number 1, choose to be engaged with the present instead of the past. A lack of self-forgiveness keeps you rooted in the past. So guess what? You're going to miss all of who you could be in this moment, and even rob the people in your life now from having a fully engaged dad or mom, friend or colleague or spouse. What a waste of precious time. Number 2, learn to tolerate and accept your mistake. Years ago, I tried to fix a mistake by making another one. I was dating someone who had been abusive to me. I was ashamed of not getting out, so I married him in order to convince myself, and probably others, that the relationship was fine. That's not rational. Letting go of guilt and shame doesn't involve relabeling a mistake as not a mistake. It doesn't mean justifying or rationalizing it. It takes having the integrity to admit you were wrong and tolerating that knowledge. Your mistake doesn't define you any more than the choices you're proud of. We're all a composite of our mistakes and our successes. Neither completely defines you. Number 3, Make a choice to let go, not of the responsibility, but of the barrage of guilt and shame. There's a difference between taking responsibility for the hurtful impact your choices made on others and carrying around guilt for years and years. The first reflects integrity. The second can be self-destructive. And if it turns into shame, where you not only feel guilt but begin defining yourself as a bad person, then you can have a more severe problem. Number 4, determine if there's an action that would be healing. Think about if there's something you can do to help remedy the mistake. If so, act on it after giving it some thought. Remember, you can't fix it, but there may be an action that feels healing. Perhaps it's an apology or a conversation with the person you wronged. Perhaps it's recognizing that you need to make some changes in your current life circumstances. And number 5, know that you can grow and learn from your mistakes. Shame is a helpful emotion if it lasts 10 seconds and leads to a change in behavior. Decide how you want to let an old mistake or one that you just made yesterday change the way you behave, and then go for it. You actually learn far more from mistakes you make than you do successes if you don't riddle yourself with shame. You just listened to the post titled, How to Forgive Yourself, 5 Ways to Try by Dr. Margaret Rutherford of drmargaretrutherford.com. And I'll be right back with my commentary.
At Capella University, learning online doesn't mean learning alone. You'll get support from people who care about your success, like your enrollment specialist who gets to know you and the goals you'd like to achieve. You'll also get a designated academic coach who's with you throughout your entire program. Plus, career coaches are available to help you navigate your professional goals. A different future is closer than you think with Capella University. Learn more at capella.edu.
I am so excited for this spa day. Candles lit, music on, hot tub warm and ready. And then my chronic hives come back. Again, in the middle of my spa day. What a wet blanket. Looks like another spell of itchy red skin. If you have chronic spontaneous urticaria or CSU, there is a different treatment option. Hives during my next spa day? Not if I can help it. Learn more at treatmyhives.com.
Thank you to Dr. Margaret. This one can be really difficult. It's easy to get stuck in that loop of looking back at past decisions and just cringing, asking, why did I do that? What was I thinking? The perfectionism can definitely creep in there, like she mentioned. I know that's the case for me. When I was starting the show and I committed to it being a daily show no matter what, that led to some, let's say, less than ideal situations. I remember recording intros while I was literally in bed just to not break the streak. It was a bit like I was prioritizing this rule over my own well-being. Looking back now, that was just an earlier version of me trying to get this podcast off the ground, all part of the learning process of trying to launch something and keep going. And for me, the journey has been letting go of that perfectionism. I've talked about it on the show before, and I think I've made a lot of progress there. So it's a great reminder that forgiving ourselves isn't about ignoring our mistakes, but instead accepting them as part of our story so we can actually learn from them and move forward in a healthier way. It's definitely a practice. So keep practicing. I know I will. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you tomorrow for Minimalist Monday, where your optimal life awaits.